DNA replication occurs when a cell is going to undergo growth through mitosis and or meiosis. This process is called semi-conservative because one strand from what we call the parent strand is going to stay with the new daughter strand, the one that we're making, to make two exact copies of that original DNA strand. Looking at the left side, this is our original parent strand. I have labeled this 5' to 3' on the top and then 3' to 5' on the bottom because remember that our strands are anti-parallel. What needs to start this process of replication? We're going to have a series of enzymes in here. By no means all of the enzymes, but gives you an idea of what's going to occur. There's going to be a site on the DNA that is essentially the flag for the starting point for this replication to happen. Now, these replication points actually will occur in many spots of the DNA strand and will go in like both directions to maximize the time, to minimize the time it takes for DNA to happen. So the enzyme helicase is going to come to the starting point, and helicase is like the zipper. So where it's going to separate the tongs of the zipper and disrupting those hydrogen bonds. That is the role of our helicase. So that's why we say it unzips or unwinds our DNA by disrupting the hydrogen bonding, and it keeps those two strands on the other end from interacting. So it's like, haha, you can't do anything. I'm going to force you out. So that helicase is going to move. That direction is called the replication fork. So now we have to look at the process of how DNA is made. So we have our two strands. One's called the leading strand, one's called the lagging strand. Looking at the leading strand first. This is going to follow in the direction of the replication fork and the helicase enzyme. So it is continuously being made. We are going to start with our DNA polymerase. There are different types of DNA polymerase. There's DNA polymerase 3, there's DNA polymerase 1, there's just so many, don't care. We have talked about what enzymes mean. So ACE tells us the enzyme, that it is an enzyme. Polymer tells me we're building a polymer. DNA means we're building a polymer of DNA. It's like rocket science. So DNA polymerase 3 is going to essentially read off the sequence of nucleotide bases, and it's going to say, hey, I got a G, need a C, need a C, need a G, need a T. And it's going to have these free-floating nucleotides come in to match up with their complementary base pairs. New DNA is made in the 5' to 3' direction. I'm going to say that again. The new DNA is made in the 5' to 3' direction. Essentially, what I view biology as is everything's a countdown. We go from DNA polymerase 3 to DNA polymerase 1. We make it from the 5' to the 3' end. So if you remember a countdown, that will help you with this process. So as that DNA polymerase is moving, it's going to match up those complementary base pairs. So it's going to move on down and keep adding them. At this point, the hydrogen bonds are what are interacting to keep those base pairs there. So the original parent strand is 3' to 5', so that the new strand is 5' to 3. They remain anti-parallel and just continuing in the same direction as the replication fork. Then we're going to get DNA ligase. Remember that ligase, think of ligament, where it's holding two things together. DNA ligase means it is putting our two nucleotide bases together. It is creating the phosphodiester bond between each of those nucleotides, reforming the backbone. And then that new DNA is just going to recurl into that double helix. So that is the leading strand. The lagging strand, however, cannot go in the direction of the replication fork because new DNA has to be made in what direction? Are you sure? Yeah, it's the 5 to 3 prime. But look at the parent strand. The parent strand in the direction of the replication fork is already in the 5 to 3 prime direction, which means we have a problem. So the lagging strand is made in fragments. Specifically, they're called Okazaki fragments. And so that's the scientist who found this term or found the fact that these short segments of DNA are made. So we're going to get these short segments so that the new DNA can be made in 5 to 3 prime. So that will go down and make that segment. Then we'll get that again, and it's going to loop back, go down and make that segment, loop back, go down, loop back, go down. And then DNA ligase follows behind and creates those phosphodiester bonds. So that is the process. It is a very simplified process of DNA replication, but it gives you that key pieces of information in the direction in which our polymers are made and those nucleotides are added and the major enzymes that are used. How does DNA ligase work? Here, we've got free-floating nucleotides that move in to their complementary base pairs. When they're free nucleotides, they are around as triphosphates. So these are going to be deoxynucleotide triphosphates. As we have talked about before, the removing of phosphate groups is what can catalyze or energize a chemical reaction to occur. Here, we have two generics. Remember that we build in the 5 to 3 prime direction. So this was that first nucleotide that was added, and then here's that 3 prime direction. So this OH group on the 3 prime carbon needs to react with the phosphate on the next nucleotide's 5 prime end. We're going to break off 2 of those diphosphates and catalyze the phosphodiester bond between those 2